With Halloween approaching next week, Sarah Says came up with the idea of doing a Halloween-themed episode of the Tall Guy Talks Travel with Rick Dougherty podcast. We settled on an episode covering the Haunted Mansion, but you know us. It turned into 3 episodes of Sarah and me talking about one of the most popular attractions at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Tomorrow, October 27th, you can catch the first of these 3 episodes, where Sarah and I go over some of the Twitter poll questions that we asked to you, our listeners. Here's a clip.
I'm happy to be here.
This one I think is interesting. This is a Walt Disney World specific question, but we may end up going to talking between the two of us about Disneyland. Where does Haunted Mansion rank on your list at Walt Disney World? So these are the 4 categories I created. My favorite attraction, 2 through 5, 6 through 10, or not in my top 10. And this is talking about Walt Disney World, so not just the Magic Kingdom, but all of Walt Disney World. My favorite attraction got 19%. 2 through 5 was 45%. That ended up winning. If you can do math, you could pretty much figure out that one won. 6 through 10 got 24%, and it isn't in my top 10. I think this is a controversial opinion. 12%. I'd have a hard time thinking of 10 rides at Walt Disney World that are better than Haunted Mansion. Personally, I have it as my 3rd favorite ride in Walt Disney World, so I had it in that 2 through 5, which was most people.
Yeah.
What would you say, in your opinion, as far as the rides at Walt Disney World? Obviously, you haven't done everything because you haven't been there in a few years, but you can kind of extrapolate.
Oh, totally. I think when I voted on this, I did 2 through 5 as well. It's probably my number 2 ride. Like, it's hard to think because, you got to think about all of Walt Disney World, not just Magic Kingdom. Because in Magic Kingdom, it's obviously the best ride, in my opinion.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm not talking about Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. That's number 2.
Okay. All right. Okay.
For me personally, yeah, I put it in the 2 through 5 as well because it would be my number 2 favorite after Everest.
Okay. What would you say if we would change this question to Disneyland? Would it still be in 2 through 5? Or without Expedition Everest, would it then move up to the number 1 spot?
No, because then there's Rise of the Resistance, and I haven't ridden the
Rise of the Resistance is in Walt Disney World as well, so
that's
it's
true,
the
but I
same
haven't been
one.
on that one. So, it's the same one. Okay, so yeah, for Disneyland,
I would
have to say Rise and then Haunted Mansion.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think because while there are definitely differences, and I do like Disneyland's Haunted Mansion more, at least right now, until Hatbox Ghost comes to Walt Disney World, when we might have a little bit more of a level playing field. It's similar enough to the version at Walt Disney World that it doesn't feel as special for me over at Disneyland, so I still have Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, I still have Rise of the Resistance, then there's Radiator Springs Racers, Mr. Toad. It's a lot harder. Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. It gets a lot harder at Disneyland for me. So I might have it in 6 through 10 in Disneyland.
Okay, that's fair.
On an unrelated note, tomorrow's episode will also give you a chance to hear Kiki from the YouTube channel That's So Kiki talk about her recent experience in the Disney College program. We always love the opportunity to check in with Kiki whenever possible. After we talk to Kiki and go over your opinions in the Haunted Mansion polls, Sarah will really take over the conversation on November 3rd and November 10th. That's when she's going to go over the history of the Haunted Mansion, specifically at Disneyland, and then she'll cover the backstory to a lot of the characters and scenes on the ride. Sarah did a ton of research for these episodes, and I am confident that you're going to really love them. Here's another clip.
So there are tons of characters in this scene. I mean, I did not notice the drunk ghost passed out under the table until I was in my 20s. And I've been going to Disneyland since 1988 is the first time I went. 87, 88. And I did not notice that until I was an adult. But we have the organist, who is playing on the far end of the room and was my personal nightmare as a child from a coffee table book my parents had. I would flip through that page so fast. I don't know why, but it just haunted me. And the organ he's playing is from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is pretty cool. We have our birthday party happening in the center of the room. We have the drunk under the table. We have the duelers, which in recent years, I have heard a rumor that people say it is Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr. I do not believe this, but I think it's kind of a funny thing that people have decided that's who it is. We have all of our ballroom dancers. And then, fun fact, the chandelier swinging ghost actually has a name. The Imagineers gave him a name, and it is Pickwick. And if you look, he's actually dressed like he would be in a Charles Dickens novel.
In addition to these Haunted Mansion podcast episodes, we have a ton of other great things happening in the next few weeks on the Tall Guy Talks Travel with Rick Dougherty YouTube channel. On Saturday, you can watch me complete Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit 2022 at Epcot. This is one of the fun scavenger hunts that you can find throughout the year at Epcot, but this one has a Halloween twist. On Sunday, October 30th, we will give you the full version of the Boo to You parade from Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I got a great spot for the parade last month and was waiting until we got closer to the day to share it with all of you. Then on Halloween, Monday, October 31st, I will air my 14th and final vlog from my pilgrimage on Ireland's National Famine Way. I hiked the trail to raise money and awareness in the fight against domestic violence, and I will be wrapping up the fundraiser on Monday, which is the last day of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Please consider donating $14, one for each of these vlogs from the trail, to Casa of Pinellas County, Florida at casapinellas.org/walkwithrick/ That's CASAPINELLAS.org/walkwithrick/. We'll be back in the parks on Tuesday, November 1st to do another Epcot scavenger hunt. This time, it's Remy's Ratatouille Hide and Squeak for Epcot's International Food and Wine Festival. I also stick around to check out some of Harmonious, which is currently Epcot's Nighttime Spectacular. These are all reasons for you to make sure you're subscribed to the Tall Guy Talks Travel with Rick Dougherty YouTube channel. Take a second right now to hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to us as we continue to grow this thing. I leave you with video from the Harry Packer Mansion in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Imagineers used this building as the inspiration for the outside of the Haunted Mansion in Walt Disney World. Have a safe and happy Halloween.